All the sleep, call it beat. Wop, wop. Dancing in the club with a drop top. Just like a yap, yap. Pull up in the cut, hit a pop, pop. That's why I'm moving like Tupac.
Big Bass Life. Check this out. Y'all want Kamala Harris to be black so bad. And for the sake of saying that, you know, she want to be black, let's just say that Kamala Harris is black, right?
Girl, whew, thank goodness we have upon us a strong black candidate. So here's the deal. You have Kamala Harris and
got her teaming up with another black woman, Megan Thee Stallion, right? They have a political meeting of the minds, so to speak, right? For the sake of black women and a political so-called black woman coming together, she's twerking.
She was, throughout her entire political life, a very proud Indian woman. And that makes sense because, in case you didn't know this, Kamala Harris, despite being some percentage of black, her father is not fully black, her mother is fully Indian. She grew up with just her mother because her parents divorced when she was either 4 or 7, when she was very young. You know, she wouldn't have quite memory of her father. That's why she doesn't speak about her black father. So it is an absolute absurdity to suggest that Kamala Harris grew up in an environment where she was being impacted by black culture. I'll show you a couple of pictures of her, by the way, growing up. There she is. This is her as an adult, obviously, with her mother, and perhaps, I'm guessing, her sister, not entirely sure. Here is another photo of Kamala Harris with her mother, and her mother looks very Indian to me. Her mother looks like Princess Jasmine, exactly like Princess Jasmine's.
Somebody asked her, what are y'all going to do for black people? And she said, we can't pass laws just for black people. She said this, we can't do things just for black. Well, Kamala Harris, can I ask you a question, Madam Vice President? If the Democratic Party can't do anything just for black people, why did y'all pass a law only for Asians? Why did y'all pass a law only for Native Americans? Why did y'all pass a law only for transgenders? Why did y'all pass a law only for LGBTQs? Why did y'all pass a law only for immigrants? If you can't do anything just for black people, this is what she said. It came out of her mouth. If you can't do anything just for black people, how was it possible for you and President Biden to do all these other things for specific ethnic groups in this country from whose benefit no other group can take anything from?
As a black woman living in the United States, I am telling you, do not vote for Kamala Harris just because she is black and just because she is a woman. Especially if you are a Christian watching this, and if you have the voting ability, vote for the person that God wants in office. Now, I'm not going to say whether that is Kamala or Trump or whoever. But what I do know is that one side is very clearly pushing for godly principles to be established, and one side is pushing against those principles.
Traditional Indian upbringing that Kamala Harris had. And I want to be clear, Kamala Harris, like I said, loved being an Indian woman because it helped her when she was running for various positions. And when she became a senator, she got to applaud the fact that she was the first Indian American. She was so proud of her heritage as an Indian her entire life. I'm just going to jog your memory by showing you just a couple of clips of how the news covered her, because this is how she was running. Take a listen.
California's Kamala Harris is the first Indian American U.S. Senator.
And California's Attorney General Kamala Harris has scripted history as she won the U.S. Senate seat from the state, becoming the first Indian American to achieve this feat.
And certainly you could become the first Indian senator in U.S. history, which would be quite an accomplishment.
Not good.
I think she was speaking a different language. She's very excited. Anyways, that was Kamala Harris before she found out that she had to go black.
I'm going to vote for Kamala Harris, and it has nothing to do with the fact that she is quote unquote black, because she's not even black. Black men are never going to vote for Kamala Harris because over the next 3 to 4 months, we are all going to be basically hit with this onslaught of all of these black women that are going to be telling black men that if they do not shut up and they do not get in line behind Kamala Harris, then they're all these sorts of things. They're going to be calling us all kinds of dogs. We hate black women. We don't respect them, etc., etc. And the same black women, okay, that are going to be elevated by the media and that are going to be going on all these cable news networks and doing all of this stuff on the internet, they are the same black women that black men can't stand. Okay? These are the same ones that are hectoring black men. These are the same ones that hate black men. These are the same ones that, by the way, are not even partnered with black men. These are the same ones that are elevated by dogging, denigrating, disrespecting black men. It is going to be the women that are telling black men that they have to vote for Kamala Harris. It is going to remind black men of every bitter baby mama. It is going to remind black men of every neck swiveling, bad attitude, masculinized black woman that they have ever dealt with in their entire life. It is going to remind them of their single mothers and their aunties that basically verbally abused and disrespected them while they were growing up because the black men in their lives left them, and these young black men and these black boys were left to bear the brunt of that abuse. So all of these same types of black women are going to be running around trying to bully, denigrate, demean, and disrespect black men in order to get them in line behind Kamala Harris. These black men are going to say no, absolutely not. They will never, ever vote for this woman. The only black men that are going to get in line and listen to these women are the same black men who are going to get in line behind whatever Democrat, whatever lefty. These are the same ones that wear t-shirts that say, listen to black women and respect black women and vote for black women, all of that other stuff. But the real black men, okay, in this society, the ones that are actually entrepreneurs, the ones that are actually building things, the ones that actually lead their households, the ones that have not been completely cucked by liberalism and black women and all that stuff, these men are never going to vote for Kamala Harris, ever.
Part of me feels so bad, but not that bad. Situation got you mad, I would be too, cause damn she bad, damn she bad, 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 damn she bad, 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 please bring bad, 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 bad.
Black women, hear me very clearly, because I'm gonna need you to prepare yourself for the biggest level of misogyny you have ever witnessed in your lifetime. That misogyny and racism, it's gonna be something you have never witnessed or experienced in your life. And we're gonna have to prepare for that. As sad as that is as a reality, it is reality. So what I'm gonna need y'all to do is to protect your peace. Protect your mental health.
Taken to the Americas, to the Caribbean, to be an enslaved people. What happened here must always be remembered. It cannot be denied. It must be taught. History must be learned. And we must then be guided by what we know also to be the history of those who survived. In the Americas, in the Caribbean, those who proudly declare themselves to be the diaspora.
I'm not going to sit here and say I'm going to do something that's only going to benefit black people. No.
Do you support reparations for black people?
Stop the cap. Well, listen. Stop the cap. Again, we had over 200 years of slavery. I'm not going to sit here and say I'm going to do something that's only going to benefit black people. No. Stop the cap. We had Jim Crow for almost a century. I'm not going to sit here and say I'm going to do something that's only going to benefit black people. No. We had legalized discrimination, segregation, and now we have segregation and discrimination that is not legal because of legal barriers. I'm not going to sit here and say I'm going to do something that's only going to benefit black people. No. We have disparities around housing. We have disparities around education. We have disparities around income. I'm not going to sit here and say I'm going to do something that's only going to benefit black people. No.
That you played
and we
yourself.
have to recognize that everybody did not start out on an equal footing in this country. I'm not going to sit here and say I'm going to do something that's only going to benefit black people. No. And in particular, black people have not. And so we have got to recognize that and do something about that and give folks a lift up. That's why, for example, I'm proposing the LIFT Act. I'm not going to sit here and say I'm going to do something that's only going to benefit black people. No. Give people who are making $100,000 or less as a family a tax credit. I'm not going to sit here and say I'm going to do something that's only going to benefit black people. No. Which will benefit and uplift 60% of black families who are in poverty.
So by default, it affects black families, but there's not a particular policy for African Americans that you would explore.
But no, if you look at, I'm not going to sit here and say I'm going to do something that's only going to benefit black people. No. The reality of who will benefit from certain policies, when you take into account that they're not starting at the same place and they're not starting on equal footing, it will directly benefit black children, black families, black homeowners. Because the disparities are so significant. So if we focus on the specific issues that have resulted in the greatest disparities, I'm not going to sit here and say I'm going to do something that's only going to benefit black people. No. And we understand that that's part of why we're doing it. Listen, the reality also is this. Any policy that will benefit black people will benefit all of society. Let's be clear about that. Let's really be clear about that. So I'm not going to sit here and say I'm going to do something that's only going to benefit black people. No. Because whatever benefits that black family will benefit that community and society as a whole and the country. Right?
This is your image, black women. And you think that us, black men, are supposed to be cool with that. We're not. Matter of fact, we're disgusted. Truly disgusted.
Yeah, my bitch, she bad, got a lot more ass, nothing about me average. Nigga get mad and they act like you never had a motherfucking bad. Chasing these chickens, pop out, hit it, I'm gone, you drop by. Box don't belong to you, cock block. Got so many files, need to drop by. New Orleans, wet, mop. Dreadhead, bumper clock, top pop. Talk your shit, let her bop. Fall asleep, call the beat, wop. Dancing in the club with a drop top. Just like a fuck nigga, yop. Pull up in the cut, hit a pop. That's why I'm moving like Tupac.